Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I am here today at the Rock Island Auction Company, taking a look at some of the guns that they're going to be selling in the February of 2016 Premier Auction. And I wanted to take a look this time at a couple of rifles that were used by the German military during World War II that aren't quite Kar 98Ks. Things that are a little different that you might not notice immediately are a little different. So in some of these cases, the difference is mostly the history behind the gun. In some of the cases, there are actually some mechanical differences. And this is an example of one with some mechanical differences. So this is a Gewehr 33/40. It is marked on the receiver side, 3340, G3340. And these were manufactured by Brno, or as it became known in Germany, Brunn, B-R-U-N-N, which was a major rifle production or arms production plant in Czechoslovakia. So the Germans, of course, annexed Czechoslovakia, and when they did, they took over control of the Brno plant. They renamed it Waffenfabrik Brunn and used it to continue producing firearms for the German military. Now, one of the guns that they basically came across there was this very short carbine version of the Mauser. So the Germans had done some testing on the Czech VZ33 Mauser, which was basically a Mauser. They formally adopted it as an acceptable rifle in 1940 and started putting them into production. So really the only mechanical difference between this and a standard K98K is the length of the barrel. This one is several inches shorter. It's 490 millimeters long, or 19.3 inches. Makes the gun a little handier. Also makes it recoil a little bit more sharply. There's less mass of the gun to absorb recoil energy, and it's got a bit more muzzle blast because the barrel's a bit shorter. Now, in order to take advantage of this short length, these were typically issued to German Alpine troops, or Gebirgstruppen. Gebirgstruppen. I'm probably butchering that. Sorry. Mountain troops. We'll go with mountain troops. In order to accentuate its usability for them, you will also notice that it has this reinforcing plate on the side of the stock. And that was actually there to help the rifle be a little bit more durable when used as a climbing tool in alpine situations. So that's a very distinctive element to these rifles. We'll also take a look in a moment, but you'll notice that the rear sight is different. It only goes out to 1,000 meters, and if you're used to looking at a K98K rear sight, you'll notice that this is substantially different in appearance. Now, when the Germans decided to formally adopt these 3340s and issue them to the German military, they did make a couple of changes from the original Czech design. Nothing really substantial, but they changed the bayonet lug to fit a standard German bayonet, and they changed the type of sling swivels. So the Germans were kind of the only people who did this buckle and slot through the stock arrangement for the sling, and so they adapted that to these rifles as well. These did also have a front sight hood, which is missing on this particular example, and it is unique to the 3340. It's not the same as any of the other standard K98Ks. These were only manufactured for 3 years, from 1940 until 1942, and in total, about 120,000 of them were made. So you'll find them with two different receiver codes. The early ones are marked 945, and the later ones are marked DOT. Both of those markings referring to the Brno plant in Czechoslovakia. Other than the short barrel and the reinforcing plate on the stock, this is mechanically identical to a standard German Kar 98K. Works the same way. Any soldier who is familiar with the 98K would be familiar with these guys. They're, interestingly, one of the few examples of true German carbines in wartime use. So I think pretty interesting. They're one of those cool examples of a rifle that kind of crosses some national boundaries. And of course, everything used by elite troops like mountain units is always going to be interesting in and of itself. So if you would like to have this one yourself, it is coming up for sale here at Rock Island. It is part of a 2-rifle lot, actually, which is fairly common in these regional auctions. So if you take a look in the description text below, you will find a link to Rock Island's catalog page on this, where you can take a look at their pictures and their description, and also check out the other rifle that comes in a lot with this one. And if you decide you'd like them both, you can place a bid online or come here in person. Thanks for watching.